Good afternoon or evening or morning, depending on when you are watching this. Yeah, let's see. School's out now. What? So I just want to come on here and say hey and get this out here. I have been tossing this back and forth for about the last couple of weeks, and yeah, because I've gotten quite a few messages and emails and things like that, wondering if I was going to speak on the topic as far as homeschooling, I guess from a homeschooling perspective. Excuse me. And I had to, like anything else, I like to think about things, not just jump in and do the video. And I had something in mind. I'm not going to put that up at all because it's not what I want. It just didn't pan over the way it should. Excuse me. Yes.
Jordan asked me if we're supposed to use both bags or one bag of fish.
It depends on how many are in there. If she think we need two, then she can use two.
Okay.
Excuse me. So yeah, it just was not going to go over the way I intended it to go over. Now, and I'm not sure. I'm not even going to say. I don't know if you've been around. You know what my channel is about. Where I come from as far as homeschooling. If this is your first time, welcome. Thank you. I'm just gonna put in my stance. And I have a phone call. Hold on, you guys. I told him whatever you think we need. Okay, so just make enough for everybody. Okay, do you think that'll be enough? Well, you have to open it and see because they could be small. I'm busy. Just open it and see. You don't have to cook both. Cook 1.5. Bye. Anyhow, she's gonna call me from downstairs to ask the same question she sent him to ask. All right. Yeah, you know what I'm about and where I come from. But again, like I said, I had to carefully think about this because homes. Initially, let me stop for a second. Initially, I was going to put up something specifically for those of you that are public school parents, and then follow it up with homeschool parents. But there's really no need. What I have to say, I can say right here and get it all out of the way because I'm seeing a lot, and I try not to. I'm not biased either way, and I'm gonna tell you guys why. And some of you probably already know that if you've been watching. But I want to. There's a little bit I want to address as far as homeschooling parents that are already homeschooling, that have been homeschooling. Yeah, it's something I need to I have to say it because I see it, and although it I don't know, some people have addressed it, they have made videos to be helpful, but flat out, I'm gonna tell you right now, and I will tell you why. Okay, because I understand it's a crisis going on, everybody wants to help and offer their input. It's not helpful. It's not helpful because you guys know, even though we are still homeschooling, my kids were enrolled in public school this year. So the homeschool advice from the homeschool community is not helpful to anybody that has children in public school crisis right now. What we are doing is distant learning. Now, and the teachers know my situation. And if anything, they would have come and asked me. That's why I'm saying it's not helpful for anybody in the homeschool community to give out any sort of, anything. It's not. Disclaimer, okay? You have to understand this. If you don't have a child in public school, you may not have thought it just, I'm going to be helpful. I'm going to give them because this is a crisis. That's all good and dandy. But parents are under the direction of the teachers. The teachers are under the direction of the districts. Okay? So I could come in here and I'm going to say this because this is what I've seen. I'm going to be honest. I have seen homeschool, couple of little videos. People set up your environment and all of that stuff. But what that looks like, okay, not to say the teachers have not said the same thing, but it's different. Homeschoolers kind of put it a little more, I don't know, y'all know how it is over here. You know how it is. Set up this. You want to have a homeschool room. You want to do this. You want to do that. We are not homeschooling by any measure. And for any parent that is a public school, I'm going to go back to what I was saying. Parent, do not take any of that as a measure for homeschooling. If you were curious, it's not going to help you. It's not even the same experience that we have to go through as a strict homeschooler. Okay. Now, homeschool, set this up, you get this book, do this, do that. No. Okay. Like I said, that's not going to help anybody. Resources, I've seen links to all different websites, and I'm gonna just say this one. I said I wasn't gonna say nothing, but for those of y'all that are running the ABC Mouse and they saying it's free, it's not free. Okay, it's not free. It's 30 days like they always do. But once you are entering your credit card information, and that's something I just did not want to put out there because I didn't want nobody running over there. This is not the time to do that. People don't have money for that. No, your child do not need ABC Mouse. They're not going to be behind. No. Okay. That stuff is not free and it's a gimmick. And it's sad because it should be. Honestly, right now, it should be. But they are soliciting subscriptions. And it's like, wow, do something for the kids for free for once. This is like crazy. Let me stop right there. Okay. But y'all know any other thing like that, it's not free. You entering in stuff is not free after that 30 days. And if you forget, because most people will after, what's going on, you're going to forget. So don't even do that. Let's see. There is Khan Academy. Khan Academy is free. And there's a lot of other resources. I'm not even going to go through that because I have gone through videos before giving out free, sites and stuff like that. But telling parents, the public school parents to do this. Okay, routine. We know routine. We have routine. We have consistency. That type of thing. But making a lesson plan, all of that stuff. They're not homeschoolers. We're not homeschoolers. I kind of say that both ways. I got to use that open-endedly. I can't show you guys. I got different devices up, but this is going on week 2, technically. We have been so inundated with emails. There's another another app that we use. A lot of people know what I'm talking about. A lot of the schools use Dojo to use the Class Dojo. All of that. And I'm working, y'all. Mind you, I am working. I have to go to work, okay? so and I'm opening up stuff like, where did this email come from? I didn't even, it's like 5 of them, and I thought I was on top of it. I'm so swamped, with the emails. Now, before the spring break was over, because we had extended, I kept them going on my own program. And what I was going to say about initially what I was going to say about what to do with the kids was just to suggest this is a extended spring break. Don't panic if, public school parents, private charter, whatever. Um, Once the kids came back from winter break, up until end of February, early March, right before this happened, they were wrapping up pretty much everything that they were learning for the year. So any new concepts, there were no new concepts being taught for the month of March. They were reviewing and prepping for the standardized tests, which have been canceled. So they're not behind. They're not missing anything. So what I was going to suggest, and I know everybody's doing this at this point, if you really want to do something, contact the child's teacher, find out what they were learning, what concepts. They can tell you, what they needed help with, what they were reviewing, and go from there and just take it easy. Read some books, play some board games, get a whole lot of Play-Doh, a whole lot of art supplies, and have fun. That's it. Get them in the kitchen, cook, that type of thing. Don't stress yourself out. Okay, that's it. Again, homeschool parent will present it a whole different, lesson plan. You need your curriculum. You guys, this is a lot more challenging for me because I'm under the direction of other teachers. I can open my stuff and teach my stuff how I want to and go, but having to follow somebody else's direction is completely different. It's not the same thing at all. Now, again, I can do, my own thing and keep it up, but having to also follow, like I said, I get emails, messages, all kinds of stuff, and going to the district website. You have to log in this, do this, do this. Now, for the longest, I just got one. I had the child set up on the thing since last week. And lo and behold, every time we clicked on the link, once we got into the Google Classroom, because they're using Google Classrooms, it would take them right back to Google. So I'm frustrated for a week because, mind you, I got 4 kids that I got to get through these stuff for this week. After I set them up, which took forever. I heard somebody with over 10 kids saying that they had, I don't know, it took them 45 minutes just to get 2 of their kids logged on, and then 3 hours to get half of them doing something. The other half hadn't done anything, and they were tired, frustrated, exhausted, fussing at everybody. Y'all, that's why I said don't overwhelm anybody. As a homeschool parent, don't overwhelm public school parents because we are overwhelmed. This is a mess. Nobody knows what they're doing. It is extremely hard. I just want to skip the whole day, and I have never felt like that as a homeschool parent. I could just do and whatever. But this right here, this distant learning thing, I just be like, you know what? I want to tell them you don't even have to do that for real. Just because it's so difficult, and I have, I have patience, but it's stressful, and that's what I had to get across. I sent out some messages and emails and stuff like that saying, you know what, this is not supposed to be stressful. This is quite stressful. Y'all are gonna have to bear with us, especially uh families that have parents that are essential workers or that are still working. I'm on call, and any minute I just got something, can you take this shit? Any minute I can have to go in, I can decline, but I have to keep in mind that every shift I decline, I have to take some. I can't keep pushing it off on somebody else. I have to go to work, just flat out. I can't just sit here. Um, so I'm like, y'all just have to understand that, it is what it is. We get it done. They do have a week. They're loading up assignments by the week. And I think they said something like grades don't start till next week, but I don't really think that's going to count, because other issue is not every district in the state has devices for everybody. Some districts have passed them out for everybody. Some of them don't pass them out at all, or haven't. And a lot of families like ours have, when you have multiple, just trying to have enough devices in the home. And then the other issue on the devices is, because everybody is online these days, there's internet overload. So kids are getting, not, if they're not getting logged on, they're getting booted off. And we just had our stuff serviced before this happened, luckily, because we found out that I don't know, the speed was just so slow on the internet, and we had some stuff boosted back the way it should have been, but done differently anyway. So it wasn't that. And it came down to, well, is it the device? We didn't try every device, plus the ones we went and purchased, for this. And that right there is like, this is not the time to be trying to go but people have done that. We've had to go by whatever. Most people just going to buy the Chromebooks rather than waiting for the school or whatever, the laptops, because the kids need them. So yeah, the other aspect to that is paper packets, which I'm not touching any paper at all. Yeah, this is not the time for that. For those of you, I'm going to say this, because I got this, they're putting out all the stuff. The paper packets have been, they get distributed at certain schools at the meal times, where they distribute the breakfast and the lunch, and now they're doing dinner at some. The thing with that is, they went on to say that the paper has been disinfected. Now, I'm not a PhD or anything like that, but I know good and well you cannot disinfect paper without destroying it. I don't know where they got that from or how they could pull that off, but I just don't know where that paper has been, because there's so many people handling that paper. It's like if you sneeze in a Kleenex, it's going to dry, but the germs are still there. So no, I don't want your paper. You can email me and I can print out my own packet, but I don't want you bringing no paper to my house. So those of you that are doing that, I would think carefully about that, because those packets have been everywhere, and you cannot, somebody tell me, you cannot disinfect no paper. It just doesn't work like that. So back to the work, excuse me, is not exactly the same, where, you know what I have done. I just went for that. Sorry, I'm gonna have to flatten out somebody's paper. All right, I do have a math. Why did I? Oh, that was from the other. Oh, I stapled the wrong one. Anyway, math. And y'all know this math book, because the kids was working on this in the homeschool. I told y'all I used the district curriculum to homeschool them. So what I did was the lesson plan. Not the lesson plan. Yeah, the lesson plan is on there too. But in the Google Classrooms is the link to this. I printed it out because it was quite, I don't know. They started out on a sheet of paper, and I don't know. It was just too much. I didn't like the way it looked. So I printed it out, and they're gonna do it off of here. And I don't turn in the paper. We're not turning in the paper. It is I email it back. That way nobody's touching the paper. Anyway, not everything comes like that, but they are in the there's a lesson plan every week, and the kids are supposed to check it every morning, which I'm going to admit that does get quite tedious, having to, they have these expectations, but it does get tedious, because sometimes in these things a lot of times they're having to follow the plan, and they have to click here, click there, click. It's different links. It's not like here's the assignment, here's the next assignment, here's the next assignment. And when you multiply those plans by 2-3 kids, these kids, I don't know, they have this expectation, who came up with this, but they have the expectation that these kids can get on these devices and just start doing all of this stuff with no assistance, and then having to turn in stuff. Some of the assignments have workspaces, so they're working on the device, and you click the thing and you turn it in there. But I have run across one that has the assignments, and the kids have their own email and all of that, and they're working through their classroom. They're having to create documents, and that is done through Google Docs to turn in. And I'm like, that's too much work for a child to do. I don't even like using my Google Docs if I don't have to. I have to pull out my laptop because you can't really do it on the phone. But that's a lot of work for a kid. And then if you have to actually help them, I'm like, no, they're going to take this piece of paper, write it on this piece of paper. I'm going to take a screenshot and I'm going to email it. Check your email. We're not doing all of that. I don't want their work saved on my devices and all of that. It's too much. Nobody's thought about that. I don't know. Not somebody tell me, is that being unreasonable? But I think that's just too much work for a kid. And then somebody else said something too. They were like, they're not, it was too hard because it was 4 different ways to do it, but you have to go into another program to actually to create the document. Somebody said, we're just going to scan the assignment. So I'm like, yeah, I see why. But I guess everybody not having I understand the teacher standpoint, because now they're having to check all over the place. But I think they need to get on the same page as us. We're having to go all over the place too to find things and make sure they do this assignment and that assignment. But that's just too much, and I said, if they can't accept it like this, then we just won't be I don't know, I just save it up and take it in there. They got folders. That's what I did. Everything they have is on a paper, and here they can take the folder whenever. But it's a headache, you guys, is what I'm saying. That's why I said, as well meaning, as it may be, I could not come on here as a homeschool parent and really give too much as far as homeschooling, because this is not homeschooling. It's not homeschooling at all. And it would overwhelm a parent that is already overwhelmed and frustrated, as well as a child. What they need is normalcy. I know some of the parents are trying to keep the same routine and same schedule by getting up in the morning at the same time. These kids do have a virtual recess built into the day. They have specials. Again, I'm not going to say it's all going gravy. We get in the English and the language arts and the math. What else? The specials. You got art, music, PE. We still got to do some of that. And it's like legit stuff, where they have to, it's paper. So yeah, I've been good on, here's your paints, your paint sticks, and they've been creating a lot of stuff. But to run some PE and all that, I'm not that kind of teacher no more. So this is like, I got two jobs on top of my jobs that I'm doing at home. And yeah. Oh boy. So for those, I'm not saying that it's easier for the parents that are at home because they're not working an essential job and they have to do this. I'm pretty sure it's just as hard, but I still got to go to work and I got to do all this. I'm like, man, I can't keep up with all this. This is like a whole lot. It's a whole lot. So, again, like I said, we just take it one day at a time and do what we have to do. And anything after school is officially out for next month, because they are not going, nobody's going back. this school year. We are just going to continue with our our regular homeschool lessons, and I had already switched grades because they were finished in that week that they went on spring break. They finished all their stuff that I had for them. So I switched grade levels for them. And yeah. So they'll be working on that stuff, and everybody's fine with it. They were just, I think a lot of this stuff is just sent home with these kids or on the classroom, the Google Classroom. Is a lot of busy work. And I know a lot of parents are, again, in the same position. They're kind of flustered and panicked because this is new. I'm sure in a couple of weeks it will smooth out, but it's still a challenge. I don't want to say it's not. And I think as a parent, me kind of speaking on it, it's something that needs to be said because nobody really, the teachers, I don't know. If they have children, they may be able to relate a little bit better, but for the ones that don't, and the districts and things like that that are implementing this, they don't really understand the challenge of the parent unless the parent voiced their opinion. So that is what I'm doing. Of course, nobody could have foreseen or planned for anything like this, but in the future, because y'all know this thing is not over, this thing is going to come to a head probably, they said, within the next month. And there's another wave of this virus coming through in the fall. So it is not over. It's not over by any means. Is it going to be easier in the fall? Who knows? Who knows? It may be worse. We just don't know. So yeah. Excuse me. But I don't know if anybody has any more input, especially a public school parent that is watching this. If you have anything to say, feel free to leave your comment. I'm probably not going to come back on here and speak on this, but if you have a comment, just like I said, it helps for us to speak out, because if we cannot speak out and voice our concerns and opinions and things like that, because it's a communication between ourselves and the teachers, but how far does that conversation go? Is it really getting back to the district? Does it really matter at this point? That type of thing. Some of the districts are trying to change, excuse me, change some things, a little bit because of the feedback, a little bit because of the feedback. So the feedback does help greatly, but that particularly homeschool parents, please don't go out or not go out, but rush your friends for all this information, giving them all this. Don't do that. That is, again, I know you mean well and things like that, but don't do that. This is not the time for that, really. And especially if it was, they would ask you. For one, they would ask you. But this is not the time, because we have everybody has something at this point, to go on. And, nobody really has the funds really to be trying to do whatever. And then the child is not, it's not homeschooling still. It's not for everybody. We're not homeschooling. If your child is in the public school, again, that's not the same thing. So just because they're home now does not mean this is not, because you don't have a choice. If it was our curriculum, it would be homeschooling. But like I said, yes, I'm homeschooling, but I also have I have teachers plans. So it's a whole different ball game. It's a whole different ball game. Well, what have we been doing? Lots of games, board games. Like I said, Play-Doh, outside time. They outside now. Bubbles, sidewalk chalk. Get them in the kitchen. We're gonna go make some pies in a minute or something, I think. What else? Mm, I don't know. Just whatever I can do when I am off. Y'all, I am working at uh for the most part at least 12-hour days. At least. So I'm tired. When I come home, I'm asleep. I'm very thankful to be able to come home, and I just am hoping, and I don't even like to use the word hope, but praying that I'm safe. I'm pretty much safe at this point. I'm well. Y'all know I have allergies, but I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't know. I don't even want to think about what would happen if I had a contact case and I would have to quarantine. I cannot come back home. That's happening to a lot of nurses and doctors. They're not even at home. They're working their hotels set up and things like that, or they have other places where they go. They're not even coming home because it's too close contact where they've been, stuff like that. Like I said, fortunately, I've been okay. What else? I have had a long week, a very long week. Um, yeah, it's not even, I don't know, what is it, Wednesday? Y'all, this thing is real. I'm going to, kind of wrap it up in a minute, but it is real. And like I said, long week. I'm watching bubbles out my window. Bubbles are the wishes. Okay. So they would stand they're in the backyard now, but they would stand in the front, and they have been creating messages in the driveway. But the bubbles were the wishes for the people that drove by. They would wish them well, and that's keeping them occupied. So, what more can I expect? It's keeping their mind off of things. So, do some stuff like that. But commonplace, but not as close. You guys, I had I can't really say too much, but I lost a patient on my watch, and it was just it was happening. It was inevitable, but I lost a patient the other morning, like right after midnight, and I'm just, I had to just woosah, because it was just like to actually witness, not the first time, but during this craziness, it was a lot. Come to find out that person's spouse had descended like a few years back on the same day. So she waited until, essentially she waited until that day. And I was like, wow. But having to, do all the things and take care of all the paperwork and all that, it was a lot. So I had to decompress. And I gotta go back to work. Anyway, let me see what else is going on. I'm sure, like, I also have kids in college, child in college. So also during distant learning, and it has also, it's a challenge as well. Trying to make sure that everything is done, and it's a lot of work, and essays and stuff like that, the lectures. So, like I said, be mindful. And, to those of us that are at that still, now what phase, don't worry, don't stress. The kids are not going to, it's just like summertime. Treat this like summer break, and keep them busy. Keep them busy after they finish their assignments. Um, and they keep them pretty busy because I think they said a lot of these schools uh, around the country, it's like 3 hours that they have come up with that they are to be learning each day. So they are pretty busy. And I have seen other people show their child's, classroom, and, the work that they have in it and things like that. But after that, just take some time to just relax. And you guys, another thing, homeschool, public school, have them keep a journal, just a spiral notebook, and just write. It doesn't have to do with the situation, because that can get, little kids, and yeah, that can get I don't know, it's a touchy subject, but that can be depressing. But again, at the same time, it is a way for them to get questions out that they might have and not really know how to express, or that they are having trouble sleeping or something like that. Or it's quite possible that somebody, all of us, probably know somebody that has been affected, and we kind of forget about the kids, but don't leave them out. Have them verbalize that in their writing, and then come together as a family and read those questions, and answer those questions, as best you can. So that's a good way, and that's a good way for us as parents as well. Um, I don't know. I would have a lot to, if I really had the time. I really, that was my mind frame. Really, journals. I haven't been able to write anything about what's going on. I think this is probably the best account right here, and I've been holding off on trying to get this out. Like I said, wanting to reword it and things like that after it kind of sunk in. So this is a different kind of, what to do with the kids. I'm not giving out the, places to go and all the activities and all the curriculum. This is not that video at all, because it's not the place. It's not the time for it. But any other time, you all know that I would be more than willing to, um, give some guidance and input in that way. No problem. But in any case, this too shall pass. And all these little frustrations I just let out over here will pass. Like I said, I can't stress myself out, because then I go to work stressed out, or vice versa. If I come home stressed out, it's trickling down to the kids. So at any cost, hey, I have to go to work. I respect y'all and what y'all are doing. You teach the kids. I trust you and all of that, but chill, okay? Um, yeah. What else I'm gonna say? What else I'm gonna say? I have heard some. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get off. Some crazy. Well, I can't even say crazy because it happens. That's why most people tell you. Most workplaces tell you don't wear your uniforms out in public. Like, I don't know. I try not to go to the store without my plain clothes on. That's just out of habit. But I try. I mean, sometimes I might have to go. I might be stopping in the store to get something, real quick or something like that. But I don't come home like that. You take all that stuff off, especially these days, because yeah, you can't bring the germs in the car. But anyway, people been shooting at nurses and and I'm like, the crazy thinking that we are contaminating people. And it's like, I look at people, I don't say nothing. Somebody did say something to me when I was in the store. about being gloved and masked and stuff like that. And they was like, but no shade though. And I'm like, see, the thing is, the person with the glove and the mask, that's who I'm afraid of. You know, I just kind of looked at her like, okay. But yeah, because I'm gonna tell y'all this. I'm gonna come back with this too. Of course I have to wear PPEs at work, and y'all probably don't watch the news and all of that. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough gloves. It's not enough masks. It's not enough whatever. Okay, it's just not enough. I got some stuff, but we're not getting enough. But anyway, them little masks. Oh, I got one somewhere. Anyway, a couple of them. The little put on, y'all. I told her basically what I told her. I said, that mask, me wearing a mask is no better. I could hold a piece of paper up to my mouth and it still would do the same thing, have the same effect. And it was just like she couldn't. But and I'm like, that little mask and gloves you wearing, I don't want to touch nothing you didn't touch with them gloves, cause you supposed to take the gloves off with each transaction. Take the mask off with each transaction. People going into the store with their mask and their gloves, you supposed to dispose of it outside the store. They going to the next store, getting in their car, touching the seatbelt, touching the this, touching the that. You didn't already, that defeated the purpose. That's why I say the person with no gloves, they gonna wash their hands. That's the person I'm gonna go to. Okay? But the ones with them gloves on, oh, I got gloves on, no problem. No problem. No, I have 4 or 5 pair of gloves on. That's what I do. That's just how I do it. But you shed one and you got another one. But because I'm OCD. But yeah, I'm just like, that little, and them little masks don't do nothing no way. But yeah, for the people that are sick, that's what they trying to get, because they don't know who's sick. So they want everybody to wear the mask. Now it's required here. We got people being fined in different counties for not, that they're not wearing them. Anyway, I just said whatever, but I cannot believe that, people getting angry over that. Little did they know the situation, the work conditions that we working under. It's stressful. It is very stressful. It's people that have walked off, and it's like, I mean, understand that nurses and doctors are people's parents as well. Have some kind of consideration. So, throughout this whole ordeal, yes, I'm concerned about my kids' education and things like that. At the same time, I let them know, look, you may be teachers, you have your job to do, but guess what? I have my job to do as well. We're gonna have to work together. So, as for those of you that do have friends that are, if you're a homeschool parent and you have friends, they can, you know, possibly like during the summertime or something, ask you some things, but excuse me, right now it's not really much they can really glean from anything, um more than, just listen, just listen to them. Be a friend and just let them know. But don't, again, I wouldn't go back and say, well, if you had your kid, if you were homeschooling, you could just follow your program, stuff like that. There are people I know, again, there are people I know that are doing that, or maybe you should think about that. No, it's not the time. Some people just, they're not, and this is what it's doing, is it's making the public school parents say, oh, I could never homeschool, because this is what they think. This is what the news media is putting up, that this is what homeschooling is, and it is not. And so, everybody, I don't see how you can homeschool. I could never do that. And, homeschool's already been getting a bad rap. But then again, the homeschool community kind of brings it on itself. That's why I told you guys a long time ago, we educate. I don't put myself in that category. I don't. This is not a thing that we do. This is our lifestyle. Some of you equate it to, this is what we do, this is how we do things. This is our lifestyle. So I don't associate with homeschooling, period, whether they are in public school or not. I just don't, because it's not something we just do. What I have done with the kids, and or we have done with the kids, and have seen the success of these kids going on and university and graduating and things like that. This is a whole lifestyle. This is not, we're going to try it before we buy it type thing. We already know what we're doing and it works. So, anywho, I will leave that with you guys. And if you found anything, if you found anything helpful, great, pass it on. And leave me a thumbs up, a hey, or something. If I'm totally hitting left, hey, say something. Say if I'm missing something, honestly, say something. Because like I said, everybody is in the same position right now, and we all are kind of like leading each other, and it's kind of like the blind leading the blind, and nobody knows. I don't even know. I came on here and voiced my opinions the best I could, and I think I have a pretty level playing field on both sides of the schooling aspect, which made this a little bit different. Like I said, speaking from both sides, as a public school parent and as a homeschool parent. And not to say I'm abandoning the homeschool parent side or community or anything like that. You guys know where I feel, how I feel. If you've been here, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. To each family, everybody has to do what they have to do for their own family. Everybody homeschools for a reason, or whatever. They may put their children in public school for a reason, whatever. Don't let nobody knock you for your own decision. You're doing what's right for your family. I had already told you guys, they didn't even make it a whole year. This is like 3/4 of a year. We knew a couple months in that this trial thing that they were with my kid, because I'd let my kids have that freedom to, I trained them and taught them well enough to make their own decisions within reason. But we kind of knew that the public school deal was not going the way we wanted. We just stick things out. We don't just throw our hands up and I can't do this. We just don't do that. But excuse me, I had explored different avenues and have a different approach that's still up in the air, because right now there's no school open. So yeah, as of now, they are at home. They're at home. I have not made any decision as where I'm going thus far, because it's over. They're gonna close it. I'm gonna withdraw them, whatever. They're at home as of now. And I can work around, what I'm doing, work my schedule around them or whatever, even if because a lot of times I'm working at night. Y'all know that. But listen for that noise. What is that noise? Yeah. So be just be sensitive to people. Be mindful. Don't don't make somebody feel bad for their choice. Yeah, we already do this. I didn't, for what it's worth, I didn't say, oh, well, we were already homeschooling to the teachers or to the parents. And, it wasn't even called for, that was so uncalled for. If I would have came in with that kind of approach, now you guys got to learn how to do this, because it's not the same thing. I so wish I could just follow my plan and um but I'm like I said, we stick things out. That's why, even though I express my opinions and my frustrations and things, that is to help the process for anybody that is going through it and they may think that they're the only one trying to navigate this distant learning thing. Um, I know it's a learning curve. It's a challenge. Challenge is what we see every day in our messages, in our communications. Challenge, challenge, challenge. Y'all know I love challenge. Challenge me. I love challenge. That's the reason why it's not, um, I am not just throwing my hands up saying we're not doing this. You're gonna accept my work that I do, and that's it. But yeah, it's a challenge. So nobody knows right or wrong or whatever, left or right. We just doing what we have to do for the most part. And just like any other homeschool parent, they just want education. Make long as the kids are educated, that's all we are worried about. But for the most part, I want to say again, work. I want to say again, work. I don't care what kind of work they sending you or whatever you got to do on them plans. Sanity. Make sure the kids are nurtured. Make sure they are sane. Make sure you are sane. Like I said, if I don't get any of this work turned in and my kids are okay, I'm good with that. I am the one that had to contend with the teachers in the district and whatever. I don't want my kids stressed out over this. This is the last thing. We are in a crisis. People worried about paying their bills, their mortgage, getting food, people, their family being healthy. I'm not finna worry about no schoolwork. When it all comes down to it, that's it. My concern is I have to go to work. I have to take care of my kids and I have to go to work. The schoolwork, my work, whoever work, it can, bounce. So, I know that may seem like kind of nonchalant. It's not nonchalant if you just sat here and watch this. Parents, that's what I'm saying. Those of back to work, same thing. Don't worry about the kids. They're going to be fine as long as they're not stressed out and they're having fun. You want to take their mind off of it. This online thing, I'm going to say this and get off, did freak out my kids a bit because you guys know we don't turn them loose on any kind of device. And so and that's another thing I was going to say. I'm going to say this. I do not like that this remote learning is online. I'm going to say this. And I know I'm not the only parent. There are parents that have children that are hyper. I'm not going to use those terms because I don't really believe in those diagnoses. But I'm just say hyper. Excuse me, and hypersensitive. They are promoting this by having these kids on these devices. 3 hours, even 3 hours. An hour for some kids is too long. 30 minutes, they wasn't even tolerating 30 minutes. It was just like, I'm over this. I don't want to do this. The stuff, it was too overwhelming. I don't like it one bit either. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And I should have said that at the front of this, but I kind of forgot. But that's my thing. I guess because that was just like my straight up hardcore opinion about this. I don't like it. And not the fact that we had to go purchase more devices. That's a whole nother thing. Some people can't even, I feel bad. Some people are distraught because they don't have the funds to go purchase, and like I said, it's people with 6, 7, 8, 9 kids and the district doesn't have them. They don't qualify for a free, one. And yeah, or they're giving one away to one household that might have 5, 6, 7 kids. It's like, what good is that going to do? But I just I don't like that. I don't like that they're promoting the online thing. And then I told you guys, it's just me with the paper thing. I'm not taking the school. I'm printing my own because of the germ thing. But if you say online, because they came out with the online thing first, and the kid hears online, and then they hear paper, which one you think the kid is going to want to choose? They don't want to do their work on paper. They want to do their work online. And then they get to talk to their friends online because they have them able to communicate in the classroom with their friends. And then they're doing they're going to start doing, some of them have already done it, the virtual chats. So, with the teachers and the friends and stuff like that. But that's the part I just don't like. It's too, yeah, I just don't like that. One thing we haven't done, lastly, and I wish they would do, is more, where are the counselors? I have talked to family members and they were talking about these kids need counseling. And I said, they didn't start that. And she said, our school has that. The therapists are on it. They're just now getting around to that. And I think they went on lockdown before we did. So I just, wish they had more counseling available for these kids and counseling resources for the parents. Because if I was just at home and if I was on lockdown like everybody else, and haven't been anywhere, I'd probably be stir crazy right now. This probably would have been a whole different talk, honestly. But because I've been able to get out and I have a job to do, my focus changes, so I'm able to shift like that. But if I wasn't working and I'm just strictly trying to manage home, I feel for you guys that are in that position. I know it's tough. I know it is tough. That's why I try to stay busy. I pray for everybody every day that they stay sane, because this is like crazy. Anyway, thank you for that comment. What is it?
Still have to finish this now.
Don't come over here with that
Is there any
blanket
more
on.
art paper?
You have to wait a minute. Give me the pack of paper. Take her out some.
Too big.
You can't get it?
Yeah, I can. It's too heavy.
Bring me the paper. Oh, this is one more thing. Just say Twitch. Hello from Turkey. Hi, thank you for joining. Y'all. Ugh. This is Packing art paper. This is the mixed media. It's made by Packing. Back up. PACON. PACON. This is what I did. It took me a while. I think this big old pack is like 500 sheets. And it's like $18 or something like that on Amazon. This is art paper. It's mixed media. So it's real, like, it's not heavy as construction paper, but it doesn't bleed. So, yeah, if y'all want to make an investment right now and you got some, this will keep them busy. Here.
Yay!
It took me that's hers. You can get some. They've been making all kind of stuff. But I think it took like 3 weeks, because I ordered that last month and I just got it the other day. Are you done? What did you do?
I got the first assignment.
You didn't write with.
Oh.
Don't come over here because your shirt's not on. Write with this word, punctuation mark, period. You're supposed to write. Are you supposed to write a sentence with a period?
No, I'm just supposed to write like an example with the period in it.
Is that what I just said?
Yes.
Go over there and do that stuff. So yeah. What are they doing? I don't know. It's not real. They're doing something called vocabulary, and have them watching brain pop videos. It's not like a whole lot. That's for certain. That's in the ELA category. But they also have to read, and they also have papers that they have to write, little essays. So yeah. But anyway, something else I wanted to say before I close this out. Oh, the communication with the teachers. The teachers are, because, for those of you that are homeschooling, I'm going to tell you, I just want to tell you how this is working for us. That's why I said there's no need to be concerned and offer that advice. The teachers are required to communicate with children, each student, every week via email, via phone call, email or phone call. They're required to communicate. We had a couple of schools get together, the teachers, in their cars and go into the children's neighborhoods. They did a car parade. They were honking. The kids came out, and so they were able to wave to the kids. So cute. One of my teachers gave us a heads up that they were going to leave a painted rock on our doorsteps for the kids one day. And so the other day I came in from work one morning, and it was just a delight to see this. And it was a little doggy to see. And it just happened that the child that it was for was having a meltdown. I didn't really know, but it was morning. I imagine it was breakfast. She needed help. But I called him to the door and said, "Hey, come get this. Look." And they picked it up and read the message. And it was just so touching and heartfelt that to know that that teacher had come by and left her that little token. And that's like, it means the world. It's something small, but it means the world. And then also we received a letter in the mail yesterday from that teacher, and my 6-year old is her teacher, and she was able to read the whole letter by herself. So she was just tickled because she didn't realize that I had taken pictures and sent pictures, email, but she didn't realize that I had been writing letters, letting them know what, or email letters, what they are doing. So when the teacher was telling her what she was doing in the letter, she was like, "How did she know I was doing that?" She was just tickled. So, yeah, that's that's one way. And then we have gotten some, couple 3 phone calls. So it's not like we're out there. We don't have anybody helping us. Myrtle, yeah, the turkey. Wow, that's something. So yeah, we're not out there dangling by ourselves completely. And like I said, again, I don't know that, if I were strictly homeschooling, that I would offer anybody in this situation any type of, anything, because it seems out of pocket right now. When especially people are not even worried about school. That's like the last thing on people's mind. People are sick. People are hungry. People are distressed. People are worried about paying bills. So I just, for some reason, I could not let go of that footage because it just didn't seem right. And I know in my heart of hearts, I would have felt some type of way trying to put that out there for the sake of doing something. So I know this was kind of all over the place, but those of you that got it, I really thank you. Um, I just figured this was the best way to do it. Just, raw and uncut. I'm not going to edit anything. I'm not going to take it down. So anywho, you all be blessed. Stay well. Hey, silly mommy. And, you know, be, be thankful. Hello, everyone in the chat. Be, thankful. Get together and play some games with your kids. I probably try to get some footage up on, different things and stuff like that, suggestions. But other than that, I'm done with this topic. I'm done. I'm satisfied. Claudia Lee, hi. And like I said, I do appreciate that comment. You didn't like, how the kids are being, put online to do this work, because it doesn't, it's not good for them to be sitting like that. And all I hear is, the kids sitting online and eating. They got the food right next to them. This is promoting obesity, and I can't with it. That's why I couldn't. Let me stop. I couldn't be on the. I have been. I'm not even gonna say it, on committees and heads and stuff, because I come with a different perspective, But yeah, they'd be like, she too I don't know, she too kind of a little too militant on it. But I'm just being real. I'm just being real. I know I'm tired of editing my butt off, girl. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get off of here, and if I have some time, maybe I'll come back. If you guys have any suggestions right now for anything you want to see, let me know before I shut it down. Simple and compound sentences. Did you figure out what this was? Okay, you know what? We cannot do this. We've been doing the same thing. No. I want you to, let's see, your scores. Okay. So you got it all right. Oh, that's why you came there? To tell me you got it all done? Okay, finally. Good.
No, I
What?
I kept trying and trying until I got it right.
Oh, you kept trying until you got it right. Try again. All right. So, did you? What is this? Hold on. You got a. Where is the assignments thing? You just, it's so dry. Uh, mm, hold on. You got to go back right here where it says see all assignments. Okay, that's this. Run on sentences. That still says due soon. I don't know what happened there. Wait, you got a next page? That still says due soon. I don't know what happened there. Wait, you got a next page? Oh, this is the one. Okay. There's 2 quizzes. You got 10 things still left. You want to go do that? And you click on the go and do everything till you get to the quiz. Oh, Lord. All right. All right, you guys. I'm getting ready to end this. Thank you.